few hours ago, there was, or earlier today, I should say, that word was coming out about Joe Gacy. And I haven't actually had a chance to read this stuff yet, but Joe Gacy is... Oh, in fact, there's a few interesting things going on. There's some chatter about Rourke that I need to look at. And there's also some stuff in regards to Joe Gacy. So apparently Alexa was never meant to stay on the outside of the Wyatt Six. According to Joe Gacy, she was part of the plan from the beginning, which makes sense. I mean, that's not a great surprise, is it? Because if you remember back to Nightbird and the URLs, Alexa featured in that. You know, there was clues that featured Alexa in that. So she was planned from the beginning, but months after WWE released the entire Wyatt Six faction, Gacy revealed Alexa's name came up in the group's very first creative meeting, with the long-term plan being that she would be a part of the family. The only thing that was ever spoken about, even in the first meeting, was Alexa being in the group. Alexa wasn't someone WWE briefly discussed for moving in a direction. She was always going to be a member. But we just never got there. There's other chatter as well. So he's done an interview, and in this he said we had ideas every week. Every week we would give them something, and for one reason or another, none of it ever came through. One of the big things we spoke about, I think we eventually could have got there. We never wanted to recreate the Funhouse, but we did have an idea of doing segments that would be our own version of it. We had this idea where, you know, we would be in our own sitcom, which would be very weird. Like something where, I don't know, me and Nikki are on the floor playing with toys. Dexter's doing whatever he's doing, and we're just in the living room, like living like a family. And then Rowan comes in from work or whatever. We would have laugh tracks. It would be really awkward and creepy, kind of like what they did with WandaVision, stuff like that. And that was something we pitched early, but never came to fruition. Wow. Imagine that. Imagine if they'd have gone with the sitcom idea. WWE scrapped a creepy sitcom plans for the Wyatt Six. This could have been amazing. Shame on WWE for not exploring this idea further. Damn, could have been amazing. I just want to see what this chatter is. Some people within WWE reportedly weren't impressed with Rourke after seeing her wrestle on the main roster for the first time. Many people in Gorilla didn't get a proper look at NXT wrestlers until they appeared on the main roster. That is coming from Selfmades. I don't know, man. I mean, I think the thing with Soul is that it's obviously been a difficult transition to the main roster. So, I don't know. I don't know if there's any truth to that or not, that they saw her and they weren't that impressed. I mean, we know that she seemed to be nervous and all this kind of stuff. So, you know, we know that there's a lot of issues that, you know, have happened in regards to, like, but it's not like just one event, is it? It's like every match has been botching. Or had botches, I should say. So, I don't know. I mean, they still put the belt on her. If the first time they watched her, they weren't that impressed, they still went ahead and put the Intercontinental Championship on her. So it can't have hurt her that much. Okay, let's have a look, see what we got for Evolve, and then we're going to jump into the chat. So there's a Fatal 4-Way. Oh yeah, the championship tonight. Forgot about that. So Max Abrams, Harlem Lewis, Aaron Rourke, and Tristan Angels all going up against each other tonight. I think that's it. I don't know that there's... Yeah, no. If I scroll back on WWE's X account, it just takes me to NXT stuff. So the only thing that I've got is the Fatal 4-Way tonight. Max Abrams, Harlem Lewis, Aaron Rourke, Tristan Angels, championship on the line. Long Beach Hippie Hello said a couple of Wyatt guys are going to be in a 30-man rumble at the UWN wrestling event this Sunday at Long Beach, California. Oh, very good. Very good. Opola said, has anyone played The Last of Us 2 on the PS5? I haven't. I haven't played The Last of Us, to be honest, but I've obviously heard amazing things about both games and amazing things about the TV show as well. It got turned into a TV show, didn't it? Which I kept meaning to try and check out. Let's Piss Gamer said, Joe also revealed that Alexa was going to join the Wyatt Six from the start. Yeah, I can believe that. I mean, again, just thinking back to that URL, do you remember we had the first letter of each member and then the last letter was revealed as well? And like Alexa was one of those. So she was kind of baked into even the teasers during Nightbirds. So totally 100%. Yeah. I mean, not that he would ever lie anyway, but I mean, I think it was right there at the very beginning during Nightbird that she was kind of coming into the group. But it was a case that I don't know what happened. I don't know if they just kicked the can down the road. I think when she came in, I can't even remember. I don't even know that they were around because obviously they are in that program with Final Testaments. That all then, you know, kind of concludes. I mean, there's obviously injury and whatnot, I think, to Bo at that point, which then means that we don't quite get the big blow-off match. And then I think Alexa comes back maybe in the Rumble, but Bo's out with injury. So I wonder if because of that injury, it meant that she didn't come in and go straight into the group. We kept her on the outsides. And then she found her way with Charlotte. And that pairing with Charlotte has been a long time now. It's been a long time. This has been a significant part of her career, hasn't it? Alexa's career, this tag team with Charlotte. So I wonder if that was the reason as to why she didn't just go straight into the group. But to be honest, I mean, if they were not going... the warning signs were there for Wyatt Six before Alexa came back anyway. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't want to say she might have dodged a bullet because I think we would all love to have seen her join in with that group. But, I mean, if you look at how that group was used... I mean, I suppose the question has to be, would they have been used better? Would they have used them more? Would it have been more of a success if Alexa had joined them? Or would they have still treated them the same? Because if they would have treated them the same, then maybe Alexa dodged a bullet. Because from what I've just seen, and obviously it came out much, much earlier today, but what with me getting up later, obviously, because of the times that we operate. And then, of course, we just did a member stream and everything. From what I've just read and what I've just seen, apparently they were taking ideas to WWE all the time. That sitcom idea is awesome. So if they're taking ideas all the time to creative and creative are just not interested, would Alexa have changed that? Would they have been a little bit more interested if Alexa was on board? I don't know the answer to that. But part of me thinks, you know, maybe she's dodged a bit of a bullet there. Not that she would have been released. I'm sure they would have kept her, even though everyone else got released. I'm sure they would have kept her still. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that there would have been much benefit to her going into that group because we just treated them like a normal tag team, didn't we? We just treated them like a normal tag team. And seemingly they kept coming up with ideas. It's not that they weren't generating ideas. They kept coming up with ideas. Like the sitcom one is great. But seemingly creative, just not open to those ideas. Very frustrating. Very frustrating. William, shout out to you. Hope you're doing well. Connor said El Grande's rumored to be the one that's going to face Roman in Mexico. Yeah, just saw that doing the rounds. So obviously word coming out today, and I did a quick video on it because it's big news actually, that because obviously that was the big, like, you know, cliffhanger. We don't normally end Raw on a bit of a cliffhanger. Normally it's like, I don't know, someone gets attacked and they stand over them. It's not really much of a cliffhanger. But this time it was like Ray going up to Roman going, can we have a word? And obviously it's resulted in a lot of speculation, a lot of chatter around where's this going. So I know, again, because of the time I get up, I'm about 12 hours out. So, I mean, if news breaks at 5, That's like 5 in the morning for me. If it breaks at like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., that's like 6 in the morning. You know, I tend to get up about 7, half 7 p.m. So for me, I get up and, you know, look at the news, and then, you know, it's already been out a good few hours, of course. So I don't know, maybe I need to change the time I go to bed, the time I get up. Perhaps I need to be a bit more, you know, getting up at 5 rather than getting up at 7, half 7. But either way, I saw the news and I still felt there was a video in there, because even though a lot of people will have heard the news by then, I think it's always interesting to talk about who could be in the tournament. And I thought it was interesting that the announcement video had certain people in it. I mean, you've got to think that when they're pulling that video together for a tournament that's happening very, very soon, not something that's off in the distance and let's just use some footage of big names. This obviously, you know, you would start to think that the tournament bracket has already been decided, and you would start to think that maybe the people they're showing are going to be in that bracket. So I thought there was maybe an angle there that some people hadn't taken that might just make the video worth doing. And obviously, since that video, word has now come out that yes, El Grande is rumored to be the favorite to win the tournament because of, well, I'd imagine because of obviously Mask versus Mask and just how insanely popular it is. I think you'd be hard pushed to make an argument that there's someone more popular in AAA right now than El Grande Americano. I think you could make the argument for Penta, and that is probably the direction I would go. But to be honest, Penta's not really around AAA all that much. So again, does it just throw it back to the conversation of let's go El Grande because he's the most over babyface, and he is in AAA? Like you don't see Ludwig that much on Raw or SmackDown. Like he is based really in AAA now, and he is so over that he is like, and there's no point having a heel go up against Roman. I know Roman's a bit of a babyface, but really, you know, those Mexican fans are going to want to see one of their own get that World Heavyweight Championship. So I think it is right to look at AAA and go, right, who's the biggest babyfaces? And who can we show that is going to really promote AAA and really promote what we're doing down here? Now, Penta could do that, but the downside is that he's not really around in AAA that much. So if you love watching Penta, it's not really going to drive you to start watching AAA. It's not really promotion for AAA. It's promotion for Lucha Libre. And it could still work for that Raw. But if you go El Grande, then you are driving people to AAA, because if you have enjoyed watching El Grande and you are blown away by how popular he is in Mexico, then hey, tune into AAA. You can see him most weeks, and it's a good advert for AAA. So I think the El Grande thing does make sense. I think it does make sense. The only down, I would say, is that he's obviously not actually Mexican, but that has not stopped him from getting some of the biggest reactions. It's not stopped him getting some of the biggest reactions. Penta also makes sense, but the down there is I don't think it really promotes AAA. It promotes Lucha Libre, but it doesn't really promote AAA. You could go with like a Wagner or one of those Psycho Clown type people. But again, they're not really getting the same reactions as a Penta or an El Grande. They're not getting the, unhinged kind of reactions that we're seeing some people get. So I think it's really interesting to try and figure out which is the right direction to go. I'll be very interested to see where we end up, but I think El Grande being in the conversation does make sense. Connor also said WWE are considering calling the match off between Fatal Influence Bella Page due to Bree's injury, but she wanted to carry on. Yeah, I heard that injury was quite bad, yeah. I mean, apparently she's out for months and months. Brian said, I like when we do Evolution, Monday Night Raw, and NXT. Brian, shout out to you. No word about an Evolution this year, but it would be good to get another one, because I always enjoy Evolution. AB, shout out to you. Who Dat Saints J said, I would prefer Penta over El Grande. But since Mask versus Mask El Grande, Ludwig has really gone up in my estimation. Well, I mean, I've just put a thing out, haven't I? I don't know if you've seen it. I've put it on the post thing, just asking people, who do you want to see? Because, again, this is why it was worth doing that video, because now the conversation has moved. You know, it's not about what's Ray speaking to Roman about. Now it's about who do you want to see face Roman on that Raw in Mexico. And, you know, I just put a few options up. So Penta is still in the mix. El Grande has got to be in the mix. But I think you've got like Dirty Dom. I did put Mr. Iguana up for a bit of fun because he is AAA and he is a babyface and he does get big reactions. So it's not the craziest in the world, but it's not the direction I would go personally. But Dragon Lee doesn't really promote AAA. Ray Phoenix, I suppose, kind of does. I mean, Ray Phoenix is an option because he is the AAA, like, I think, Cruiserweight Championship. And we do see that belt being defended on, like, Raw, SmackDown. So he is around AAA a bit more than, say, a Penta because he's got the championship and is a babyface. He doesn't get... His reactions are good, though, as well. I mean, I don't know that they're as great as El Grande right now. But Ray Phoenix is in the mix. Penta, Ray Phoenix, El Grande. Dirty Dom's got to be in the mix as well because he's the AAA Mega Champion. And he is also someone that appears in AAA on a regular basis. Everyone knows him. They know him in Mexico. They know him on Raw and SmackDown. He's obviously a member of Judgment Day and pops up and is used all the time. Just featured at SummerSlam against Danhausen. So, I mean, he's got to be an option as well. Roman is in that sort of tweener position, you know. The Mexican fans will get behind Roman if he's facing a Dominic. But they'll acknowledge him, but I'd imagine that the chance when the match starts will be for Penta or will be for El Grande if it's one of those. But if he's taking on Dominic, then the chance will be for Roman. So Roman's in this tweener position where I think the crowds they'll be happy to see him pretty much take on it. They'll just be happy to see him. They'll be happy to see Roman and see the World Heavyweight Championship being defended because it's a big match. You know, if you've got a ticket and you're going to Raw, they're serving up a big, big match. I mean, as I said in the video, seeing Roman defend the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw is really not something you see on a regular basis. I mean, Roman Reigns is PLE, you know, he's PLE worthy. So I think it's great, though. I mean, that Mexico show is a big deal. It's a special show. We haven't been there in 15 years. So to actually go there and treat it like a big show, treat it like a really special episode of Raw, it gives us something else to look forward to, actually. It gives us, we knew we had Raw anyway, but it makes that show a lot bigger. So, yeah, good. Let's go. I'm excited. New Tomorrow said Penta is actually Mexican. So that's true. Ludwig Kaiser is not Mexican. No, but I mean, you can sort of say that matters, but when you hear the reaction of the Mexican fans for El Grande, it just doesn't matter. I mean, they have totally bought into that character. He is loved in Mexico. So I don't know how much of a problem it is that El Grande is not Mexican. Because surely the most important thing is the reactions and the size of the reactions. And El Grande's reactions are amongst the absolute biggest in AAA. So I do understand that, but I think it would only be a problem if the Mexican fans saw it as a problem. And the vast majority do not. Big Time said, where's the frustration? For me, where the frustration lies with handling of Julia Carmelo with these talents. We want them in stronger positions. You don't want the stock to decline and then releases happen, said Big Time. I understand that, but I think there's a big jump, a big distance between, like, you know, Carmelo being a champion and having a good run and so obviously getting over with the fans. and just not being used for, say, WrestleMania and SummerSlam. But still, being on TV, still being featured. I mean, since he lost the belt, he's been having matches. To me, it's not that he's been sat on the sidelines for 3 months, whatever. It's just that, we've gone in a different direction. We've brought Baron Corbin in. We've put the spotlight on him. He's a heel. We're trying to, make him out to be somewhat credible because that's going to be great for the division. I mean, now that Baron's got the belts, Carmelo can go up against him to try and win it back. And, same with Elia, same with Johnny, blows the division open. So, we sort of sacrificed the Carmelo appearance at SummerSlam for the greater good. That's how I would view it. And I just think that we're so far removed from a conversation about Carmelo being released that it's like we're just not in that territory. So, Carmelo misses out. Is it a shame? Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think I put it in one of my thumbnails, but that's it. To me, it's conversation over. We spoke about it before SummerSlam. Shame that he didn't make it. And now we move on. And actually, SummerSlam has shown us as to why he didn't feature. We put the spotlight on Trick. We put the spotlight on Baron. We switched the title. We didn't want to take any spotlight away from either of them. Could we have made it a triple threat? Sure. But you could say that about most singles matches, that you could put an extra person in there and make it a triple threat. So with this one, yeah, we could have made it a triple threat, but it would have took a bit of spotlight away. Carmelo's going to look good in the ring. And yeah, for me, fine. I don't see any... I have no concern that he's on the verge of getting cut or anything like that. So I think it's one of those that, can be mentioned in the build to SummerSlam. But I don't know, man, after having such a good weekend with SummerSlam and loads of praise for how well night 2 in particular went, but night 1 was fairly well received. Even Cage Match went 6.5 in the 6s, probably for Cage Match below where they would like it to be. They'd want it to be in the 7s. But I mean, 6s is that's okay. It's not a disaster. And I do feel that night 2 should have got a better score from Cage Match. But it is what it is. But yeah, Carmelo, I expect him to come back into the mix now, and we'll, find out on Friday. Julia, yeah, I can get the frustration with Julia. We've spoken about how she's been misused. We actually pushed her to the title really quickly, and she's had the belt a couple of times, but what has it done for her? Nothing. She needs to be in a proper story, proper feuds, and we just haven't quite been able to get that off the ground. And so SummerSlam, she didn't make the cards. Again, fresh sheet of paper now. Opportunity to do something with her. It doesn't bother me about her loss last week. Honestly, I know that people freaked out about it, but honestly, I wasn't bothered. I thought the fact the match was short was because of the fact we were running out of time. I think the fact that she didn't qualify just meant that Lash did. And, Lash is also a prospect that's coming through and someone that we need to be supporting. So, again, it's I feel like it's always the same conversation of why did this person miss out? And the answer is because we went with this person instead. And it's always going to be there. It's always going to be that conversation. And it's I don't know how many times we can have it. I don't know. I mean, if we're going to have it for the rest, if this is where we're going to be for the rest of streams, that we're constantly just going to be talking about why did this person miss out? I just think that it's going to get really tiring really quick. I'm tired of it as it is, because rather than focusing on what we did get, and if what we did get was good, and if they, delivered a good show, then, instead we're just focusing on why did this person miss out? Why did that person miss out? When the truth is, creative just didn't need them, didn't feel like they needed them. Just felt like they wanted to go with this direction instead. For me, if they rotate back in now, I don't see the issue. As I said, I just don't see the problem. And I don't see either being close to being released. Do we genuinely believe next year that Julia or Carmelo is going to get cut? Because I don't think so. I don't see that. I mean, if it continues, if they both have really bad 2027s, then, you know, maybe we've got a real conversation to have then, you know. I mean, I think Ivy Nile is in trouble. Ivy Nile is not having a good 2026, is she? But I mean, Julia's been featured a fair bit. She's obviously won a couple of mid-card belts. They used her in a short program with Kiana. Right now, Carmelo, I think, has had a really good year, apart from missing out on WrestleMania and SummerSlam. But I mean, outside of that, his open challenge earlier this year was fantastic. His connection with the audience is stronger than when he started the year. So, I mean, if I'm Triple H, just put yourself in Triple H's shoes. Would you look at Carmelo and think that we need to part ways? Or would we look at Julia and think we need to part ways? I just don't see any reason as to why Triple H would feel that way. Granted, there are occasions in the past where you could go, well, what about Carrion? You know? So you're always going to have that as a exception, if you will. But by and large, I just don't have any reason to think Triple H is looking at Julia or Carmelo and thinking of parting ways. So, yeah, for me, I think they're okay. Can they be used better? Sure. But I think that probably applies to the vast majority of the roster, if we're being honest. Could Rusev be used better? Could Javon be used better? Could Ethan be used better? Could the Creeds be used better? You know? Could Street Profits be used better? Could Bron Breakker be used better? The answer was yes. Up until Monday when he confronted Dober. The answer for him was yes. Could Theory be used better? I feel like the answer for most people is they could be used better, you know? There's only a very small amount of things you can do when it comes to, like, putting people over. Most of the time, people are either going to be in kind of not being used, or they're going to be in stories where they're coming out second best, you know? There's only a few times where you can win titles or you can win feuds. For every person that wins a title, there's someone that loses it. For every person that wins a feud, there's someone that loses it. For every person that wins a match, there's someone that loses it. So for everyone that's getting a push, there's someone that's not, even if they're being used. So I just don't know how much it's worth focusing on all of that stuff, when it's just always going to be there and it's never going to go away and it's never going to change, and it never has changed, you know? I felt Julia would have been paired with Asuka, said Alex, and Kyrie and Io to start with. Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, putting her in there with Kiana was strange, and we said that at the time. And then we thought if Kiana was going to build, like, a faction, and maybe that was the plan. And maybe, you know, due to injury, plans changed or something. And so we ended up with Kiana and Julia for a while, and it just felt a bit strange. I think it would have worked if Kiana had built a stable and she was, like, managing people, and she was a wrestler as well. But she was like, I could see that being an idea that would work. But I don't know. I don't know if what we saw was the start of that, or if the plan was to just put them together. I don't know. But I can say that I just never felt it. Those two just didn't quite work for me as a pairing. I think they could have as manager and, you know, business manager and talent. A business manager that can also wrestle. But it didn't really work considering her only client was Julia. So I don't know what's happened there. They've put the belt on Julia a couple of times. None of those runs meant anything. And, you know, now we've got a clean sheet of paper, a fresh piece of paper, and now we can kind of do whatever we want. If we look at what we did on Monday, I think people would say thumbs up. I think people would say, yeah, let's go, because Stephanie came back, Becky came back, we did Oba and Braun, LA Knight stepping up to Roman. Should have been well received, hopefully was. And so, you know, Lyra did a little interview. She was in the background as well. Obviously, we're not done with Lyra, far from it. Even if she didn't massively feature on the show, there's clearly something that's built in. And it seems like it's going to be Lyra Bailey that's being cooked up. We're expecting Bailey to make her return and go after Lyra because she did on a live event. So we're expecting that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we're doing on Friday. There's lots to get our teeth into. Daze, I'm interested to see if Kevin is going to take the belt off Punk by the end of the or Royal Rumble. Yeah, it's going to be good. That feud will be good. I agree. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for the promo exchanges because both can talk. I mean, CM Punk goes in there and talks to people that, you know, maybe are not the quickest at thinking on their feet or, you know, don't have material as strong as what he can cook up. But actually, Kevin does. And actually, Kevin is not going to be worried about stepping in there with a microphone with CM Punk. He's going to know that Punk on the microphone is about as formidable as it gets. But Kevin has been cutting promos his whole life. Kevin is a student of the game. Kevin is not someone I'm expecting CM Punk to, you know, bury. I think he'll give as good as he gets. The build for this is going to be so good. So good. That's why I just don't want one match, because I don't know when that match is going to happen. I really hope that we can get out of this, you know, what we need to get out of this, because we've never seen this. So I'm very excited about that. Friday really shaping up to be something tasty. King Gamer said, I just felt after the main event on Sunday that Roman had entered a whole new stratosphere. Are we ready to start the conversation about him surpassing Hulk and Rock, says King Gamer. Oh, that's really interesting. King Gamer, I do like that. Has Roman gone to a new stratosphere? Are we getting into a conversation of him surpassing Hulk and Rock? I think that's a really, really good question. For me, we're not there. But the question then becomes why? Why is he not there? Because I agree with you. Seth has been a thorn in the side. So to get a clean win over him is big, is really big. Because really now the landscape is who is there that can stop him? I mean, you could make an argument for Cody. And of course, you can make an argument for Ober, and I think that's exactly the table that's being set. The table we're setting is, who can stop Roman? And the answer to that question, I think, will be Ober Femi. So we got rid of one of the only thorns in Roman's side at SummerSlam. So I agree, you know, I think that was a bit of a boost. It was another main event match, another SummerSlam main event. So again, that's, you know, another tick in that box. Another PLE main event, another SummerSlam main event, and a win against someone that he's always struggled against on those kind of big stages in a singles match. So yeah, I agree. I think it was a big boost for him at the weekends. But I suppose, what's the issue? Why are we not putting him into that conversation with Hogan? And I think it's really hard to give you an answer on that. I think it's really hard. If we were to rank wrestlers, Roman Reigns is S tier for me. He's S tier. He's the top tier. He is in that bracket with The Rock and Hogan and Stone Colds. He is up there with those names. John Cena, of course. He's up there. But does he make the Mount Rushmore? Because that's the conversation, isn't it? For me, Stone Cold, Hogan, they're on the Mount Rushmore when it comes to biggest ever superstars. But does Roman make that? And if he doesn't, why? I think it's a brilliant question. For me, he's still not there. But what's he got to do to get there? Is he battling some grand vision that I've got of the past? Nostalgia, you know? Is he battling that? And actually, when I look back on this period, will it feel a little bit more like, actually, no, he should be there? Because what metric are you keeping him off on? I mean, he's had the run, he's made the money, he's boosted WWE as a company financially. You know, coming out of the pandemic, that whole Bloodline story was so financially successful that, like, he's made that contribution. He's undeniably the biggest star in the industry right now. He's obviously main evented WrestleMania multiple times, won, loads of different championships, beat so many different people. Is it a case that he was getting mixed reactions throughout the 2010s? And then in the 2020s, a lot of his wins came thanks to outside interference and screwy finishes. Is it just that there's that sort of cloud that hangs over his career, and actually what he needs are clean wins? He needs clean wins like he's picked up this year. Clean win over CM Punk, clean win over Seth Rollins. Do we just need a period now? Is this actually a really important period for Roman where he just needs to keep delivering clean victories over names and actually just build up that side of things? Because yes, he got clean wins in the 2010s, but that character was getting very, very, very split reactions. I mean, he gets a win over Undertaker at 33, gets booed out the building the next night on Raw to a level that I'm not sure we've really ever seen. Like the heat that he got after that. And obviously he won the Rumble 2015, got booed out the building. The Rock came down holding his arm up. So these things maybe just sour the accomplishments of the 2010s. And then I wonder if like all the bloodline interference in the 2020s is just souring things a touch. And so I wonder if this is a really important period where does he now just get clean wins? A clean win over Punk and a clean win over Seth. It's absolutely a boost to his standing. I agree. Maybe a bit more of this. The problem he's got is I think he's about to run into Oba. Actually, could you imagine if WrestleMania next year he beats Rock clean? I wonder if that's it. I wonder if that is the big statement victory. I wonder if that is the big moment that he needs to put him over the edge. If you think of Hogan, Hogan has got Andre, WrestleMania 3, an image that's bigger than wrestling, an image that speaks volumes. You don't even need to be a wrestling fan to just look at that face-to-face between Hogan and Andre and just get it. It speaks about a fundamental of life, about trying to overcome a mountain, about facing your challenges, staring them down. It's bigger than wrestling, that moment, WrestleMania 3. And you can say that he had it again when he went up against The Rock at WrestleMania 18. And actually, this kind of showdown of people from two different generations. And then you could say with Cena, he had that with The Rock at WrestleMania 28 and at WrestleMania 29. But if I'm thinking right now about when did Roman have that, I'm struggling actually, because yes, he faced Brock, but he's faced Brock quite a few times, and he's got the better of Brock really on many occasions. SummerSlam 2022, WrestleMania 34, WrestleMania 38. So, I mean, I don't feel like Brock is quite that mountain. He probably should be. But I don't feel like that's the same level as Hogan Andre. And yeah, he beat Undertaker, but Undertaker was washed at WrestleMania 33. I mean, Undertaker, that was a horrible performance from him. And, Undertaker knows it. So I don't think that can count. I don't know. I mean, what do you point at as being that iconic moment? Maybe that's it. Maybe what Roman needs is a few more clean wins and that iconic moment. And if he beats The Rock next year at Mania clean, maybe that's it. Maybe then he goes on to the Mount Rushmore. Who he replaces, I don't know. That's a different conversation. But maybe that's where we are. And maybe that's what he needs. But interesting. Very, very interesting. I like that. That's an interesting one. Big Time said, I can be patient. Hang on, just jumped off screen. I can be patient. Yeah, but TKO has created an unsettling environment where rounds of cuts happen at any time. Sitting in catering for a few months is fine. Career lulls happen to everyone. Yes, good. Same page. Definitely. Let's go. It's not even a career lull. It's just that creative just don't have anything. I mean, Randy has took a step away since WrestleMania. Now, that's not viewed as him sitting in catering. That's viewed as him just taking a break, right? Because, you know, of his age, whatever. But look at Becky. She's done the exact same thing as well. She's been away for a while so that we can... But it's funny, isn't it, how when they step away, it's not viewed as being, a big problem. It's viewed as, oh, they've just took a break. Whereas, you know, when others step away, it's viewed as creative, haven't got anything for them, what they doing, it's a joke. I mean, WWE is running all the time. And I don't know what happens in relation to holiday requests. So, I don't know. I mean, is the expectation that you just work all the time, every single week, every year, for like 15, 20 years? Or is it that actually, you know, there's some personal stuff that goes on where family members are ill, or you really want to just take a break like Stephanie had to, and Stephanie needed to recharge. We don't even know if some of the reason as to why people go away isn't because they've booked 2 weeks off to just go and get a break, have a holiday, just, you know, think about some other stuff, come back rejuvenated. And we don't even know if that's a factor. I have no idea how the holiday system works within WWE, right? Or if it's just go, work. I genuinely don't know. And I'm certainly not saying that that's what's happened to Carmelo and that's what's happened to Jordan. I am not saying that. But what I am saying is that, yeah, people stepping away or not being used for whatever reason is a very, very regular occurrence. And I think if you look at the list of people that have been released, I think the vast majority, like 90-odd%, you probably could have predicted. The vast majority are people that, yes, sit around backstage and have done for quite a while. And when they get used, they're not really used in a very meaningful way. So, I mean, like Shayna Baszler, you know, she's thrown into various different tag teams. She's kind of not used on a regular basis. You know, again, the name that I'm going to use right now is Ivy Nile. If I'm Ivy Nile, I'm concerned because I'm not being used. I haven't been for a long time. When I am, I'm just on main event. And this isn't a few months. This has been pretty much throughout all of 2026 and I would say a good chunk of 2025. I couldn't even tell you the last time she was in a proper program. I have absolutely no idea. At least with Jordan, I know she was doing stuff earlier this year. Yes, the summer has really not been good for her, and I would, you know, definitely listen to, like, you know, people that, you know, were diehard Jordan fans that were down because, yeah, she hasn't been used. She hasn't been rotated in. I'm hoping that happens now, to be honest, because it wouldn't be great if for the rest of the year we don't see Jordan. But I think the Carmelo one feels a bit like a bit of a reach because he has been used and we have been seeing him. So, like, Carmelo doesn't worry me. I'm not worried about Carmelo. Yeah, unfortunately, he missed out on SummerSlam. So we spoke about it and, you know, we've moved on. In regards to Jordan, yeah, I can understand a bit of concern there. But it's not to the point where I'm like, she's going to get cut next year, you know? It's not to the point where I'm like, oh, she's done. It's over. You know, I mean, I'd be worried maybe a bit more about Kiana because, I mean, Kiana is someone that was out with injury for a long time. When we've used her, she's been kind of doing a bit of a nothing tag team with Julia. Then she was in a little feud with Julia, but it wasn't, you know, going on very long. And I don't know where we are now. So Kiana is someone that I would have a little bit concern about. Ivy Nile, definitely I'd have concern about. But not Carmelo. Not concerned about Carmelo. I think the Carmelo one is just frustration that, again, he missed out, wasn't it? It was just frustration that another PLE came along and he wasn't a part of it. Bishop said, Daze, the whole El Grande story needs to be studied. We had an American pretending to be a Mexican who got booed in Mexico. And now we have a German pretending to be Mexican and the crowd are cheering, said Bishop. I think it has been studied, to be honest. I think that a lot of us that have been watching this story play out have kind of paid attention to it and noted, like, you know, what's happening and why it's been happening. I think the whole story makes sense. The only thing I can't quite explain is why El Grande, the Ludwig version, got over in Mexico. That's the only thing that I can't figure out. I just can't figure it out. I mean, forget who plays the characters, right? The character itself is meant to be, you know, it's meant to have a history. The El Grande character is, you know, they did all those AI videos, didn't they, making out that El Grande had this, you know, historic career and he's one of the great luchadors and everything, right? So they did this like AI backstory type stuff. But like for me, when Chad was doing it, he was being billed as coming from the Gulf of America. I mean, you can imagine how well that went down in Mexico, yeah? So from the Gulf of America, El Grande Americano. I mean, Americano is in the name. So, you know, you've got another reminder of America. And, you know, fun fact, I can't imagine that Mexico right now is wildly in love with America. And the fact that obviously there's been the stuff from the Trump administration with tariffs and, you know, build the wall and all that kind of stuff, right? And renaming the Gulf and all of this. So I think it was done on purpose to generate heat, to actually get the Mexican fans upset. It was done to do that. What I don't get is that when Ludwig kind of carries it on, he obviously starts talking like he can speak Spanish. So he speaks Spanish. And somehow, I'd need to go back and pinpoint the moment, honestly, but somehow he starts getting over. He starts meeting the fans and speaking with the fans after and speaking in Spanish, and the reactions start getting better and better for him. And that to me is the crazy part. And he leans into it. Eventually he leans into it. And because he's like full on speaking Spanish and talking about like lucha libre and how it's the best form of wrestling, and you know, he's so proud to be representing Mexico. I mean, as soon as you start turning that dial up, it really works, man. I mean, they have just lapped it up. But it is bonkers to think that that character that was designed to generate heat started to get over. They leaned into it, and now he's like more popular than their own roster. He's more popular than the wrestlers they have at their disposal. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's the one bit that I don't know how he managed to achieve that. So if anything's to be studied, I think it's that. It's that bit. How did he get that over when the character was designed to generate heat? And then that's why when Chad came back, he was still doing the heel thing, the way the character was meant to be. Ludwig had got it over, which meant we could do the two against each other and eventually mask versus mask, which, you know, is just flipping. Because of the passion involved and, you know, the crowd engagement, but also because you've got two mid-carders there. Neither of them, I believe, have won an Intercontinental or a United States Championship at the time of doing Mask versus Mask, right? Chad has won it now, but hadn't at the time. And I don't think Ludwig has held either, right? And so you've got two mid-carders there that haven't even tasted success in the mid-cards, but both know that they can work. Both know that they're capable of so much more than what they've been able to show. And so both are in that situation where this is your chance. This is it. You've got what you've been waiting for, and that is a story, a feud, and two characters that are so over in polarizing ways that it's time now to dance the dance. Your whole career, their whole careers led up to that match. Everything they've learned, every training session they've been to, every match they've ever had, everything they have ever done in wrestling was all about getting to the point where you're in a feud that people care about with characters that people care about and dancing the dance, delivering the moment, sticking the landing. Yeah, it's all about that match, which is why that match mass versus mass match. I'm not sure anything can beat it this year. I don't think anything will. I think it will be pretty much everyone's match of the year at the end of the year, certainly from a WWE perspective. Maybe there'll be some stuff in AEW that people will say is better, but it's hard to see that mass versus mass not getting match of the year for everyone at the end of the year because of the fact that it meant so much. It meant so much. So, yeah, it's changed careers. I mean, look at what it's done for Chad's. I don't know what it's done for Ludwig yet. Actually, he's the one that hasn't necessarily kicked on like Chad has. Chad has gone back to the main roster and, obviously been at SummerSlam and won the Intercontinental Championship. But El Grande, we haven't seen him necessarily kick on since Mass versus Mask. So I actually don't mind if he goes on to be the one to face Roman because I think he deserves it. I think that would be a bit of a prize for him, wouldn't it? Like, this would be a bit of a reward for Mass versus Mask because I don't know that he's had much of a reward for Mass versus Mask. Chad has. I don't know that El Grande has. But could you imagine that? El Grande Americano versus Roman Reigns in Mexico City for the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm not down on it, honestly. I'm not down on it. I would absolutely take it. But I would take Penta as well. I was very excited by Penta as well. Yeah. Trini, hello. Shout out to you. Trini said, I just wanted to let you guys know, I didn't want to just disappear and to ask you guys, keep me in your prayers. It's tough to have another surgery this year. Oh, Trini, I'm sorry to hear that. I want to give you a heads up. I am going to have to miss a few streams. They are scheduling another spinal tap to relieve the spasms. It means they're going to have to do another surgery at the base of my spinal column to help stop the pain. Well, Trini, I'm sorry that you've got to go through that again, and I'm certainly detecting that it's something that you're a little apprehensive about. You don't want to be going through, but, I mean, needs must, isn't it? You got to do what you got to do if you obviously want to be getting better. And, yeah, absolutely, you'll be in our thoughts, of course. When is the surgery, Trini? Have they said when it's coming up? Because obviously you'll be in our thoughts, but I don't want to give you too many thoughts. So it'd be good to know when the surgery is so I can stop thinking about you after it, yeah? So I'm joking, but I'd like to know when it is. I'd like to know how far off it is. Yeah, people are telling me that AEW has got better and that it's tuned in, and the best thing on the show was a Willow promo. There's not another decent storyline on that show. Decent matches, yes, but stories, no, says Trini. That's interesting. So you tuned in and you weren't that blown away. Daze, it will be the greatest Mysterio of all time that's going to make Roman look like a babyface to get over, said TJF. Well, it could be. Dominic is definitely someone that they could go with. And, I mean, you're right. If they did go in that direction, then, of course, that puts the crowd firmly in Roman's camp. So it could absolutely go that way with Dirty Dom getting the victory. Yeah. Beast Mode said Chad is shining and Ludwig is looking for that world heavyweight title. Sonny said, Daze, I feel comfortable telling you and the community that I am queer, hides in a can of Pepsi. Love you. Sonny? I don't think anyone's going to care, to be honest. I don't think there was any reason to go hiding after such a statement. What people want to do in their personal lives is obviously up to them. So, Sonny, there was no need to go running and hiding. You can come back out now. Who Dat Saints J said, big respect, Sonny. Glad that you can share that with the community. William said, I'm going to fly to Trinidad. I'm going to visit you, Trini. I promise I'm not going to peek under your hospital gown. That definitely means that he will. Sonny, shout out to you. And TJF said, Daze, do you think that Chelsea would lose the title to Nia before she faces Rhea? Because as read, she's meant to be out like about 4-6 weeks. And I'm thinking Nia gets a shot as she was screwed out the match twice. I think that's a great shout. Because, I mean, that was the question, wasn't it? Of like, okay, you put the belt on Chelsea, but what now? Because surely she just loses to Rhea, but that's not great for Rhea because the fans are going to want to see Chelsea keep the belt. So actually, if you have Nia, an upset Nia, demand a match, get it with Chelsea, beat Chelsea. I think that's clever. I think that's good booking. Because I think you've sorted a problem out there. Because I'd much rather see Rhea destroy Nia than I would see her destroy Chelsea, and that to me was the concern. So you've given the fans the moment at SummerSlam, and then you've kind of took it away quite quickly. But again, this is the interim, so it just means that Chelsea still hasn't had that run. So it gives us something to still go for. With Money in the Bank coming up, as we said, could that be the way forward? But I'm really not down on that. I think that actually solves one of the issues I had with Chelsea picking up the victory. Okay, I don't have this week's episode yet for anyone that was wondering. Don't forget, we are going over to Tubi in a second, and we do have an Evolve Championship match coming up tonight. Carr said, who do we think deserves the shot at the AAA? Well, who do you think, Carr? Because I know you're a big AAA fan. So who would you give it to? Big Time said, Kiana should turn babyface because the SmackDown roster is quite heel heavy. Who is aligning with Charlotte with Alexa being out? Remember the buzz around her, around the Rumble and Chamber lifting Nia. Oh, so you're saying you would turn Kiana face and put her with Charlotte? Okay, yeah, I'd be okay with that. What heels do we have? I suppose you got Lash and you got Nia, and we got Jade, and I suppose you could use B-Fab Meechin, but they're not the most exciting of options. Have we got exciting heels? Have we got like decent sized name heels, the kind of heels that can go up against Tiffany to try and get that championship off of her, or can go up against Chelsea? I suppose Nia, Lash, Jade would come to mind for the top end, and then Meechin B-Fab mid-card. Kiana, I would say mid-card. So you could switch her, but I don't know, would we be excited about Tiffany against Meechin? We certainly wouldn't be excited about Tiffany B-Fab. But have we got enough heels? We got heels, but have we got enough heels? Big name heels on SmackDown? Interesting. Kiana joining up. I could see the logic. I could see the vision. Aaron said El Grande would be the biggest babyface against Roman. Yeah, it'd be monstrous, wouldn't he? Absolutely monstrous. Aaron, shout out to you. We had a good chat with Aaron tonight on our members' sites. A lot of fun as usual on Wrestle Feud. I still haven't got this video. I swear it does. It used to drop 5 minutes before, and that was great because I could have it queued up ready to go. But now it like literally drops, I think, when it's time for the show to begin. So I'm just have to keep sitting here pressing refresh. which is not very exciting. Lisa said Amelia's turned 1 today and she's doing great. Lisa, shout out to you. Always lovely seeing Lisa around. Get a bit of an update about how Amelia is doing. And 1 today, was it? My God. That's crazy, isn't it? August of last year, was it? Who knows where the time goes, eh? In fact, it only feels like the other day you told me it was 11 months. So that must have been about a month ago. So, yeah, Lisa, shout out to you. I'm pleased to hear that everything's doing good. I'm also pleased to report that Evolve has popped up. 45 minutes long, this one. So, let's get underway, shall we? I'm going to press play, and we are underway. So, Evolve 2B, let's go. Carr said Jack Cartwheel deserves the Mega Championship. Maybe someone from NXT or Raw. Ivy Nile against Flammer. Fraxium should go for the AAA. Who would you have against Roman, though? Who would you have against Roman? You'd give Jack Cartwheel the Mega Championship. But who would you have against Roman? Okay, I am 38 seconds in. 40 seconds in. So, I don't know the card tonight. The only match that I'm aware of is that championship match. That's the only match that I'm aware of. So we're seeing Harlem, Lewis. Aaron Rourke just saying a few words. If you lose your title without being pinned, then sorry, not sorry. Here's Tristan. Sorry. Top Shagger. Did he just say Top Shagger? Max Abrams is here. Top Shagger. I mean, that doesn't mean anything different, does it, to what I think it means? Okay, so we're just hearing from Max Abrams as well. So there they are. There's the 4. Max Abrams, Harlem Lewis, Aaron Rourke, and Tristan Angels. Would you like Ali? Carl said, I would put Ray Phoenix in against Roman. Phoenix Roman would be awesome. TJF said, the best thing about Roman is he stays on Raw and out of the AAA arena. Okay, here we go then. We've got the Mog Squad coming out. So I'm 2 minutes 42. Mog Squad are coming out. All right. Mog Squad making their way out. Okay, so we're going to have a promo to start the show off, which is not the most exciting thing in the world. I don't know where Pete Rosenberg's gone off commentary, by the way. It's Robert Stone and Blake Howard's. I'm mood maxing. Not me. Max Abrams. They've gifted me a new pair of sunglasses. Pleased for him. You're chopped. That's true. Some of you won't know how good it feels to have a hot boy summer. Many of you out there know, to be honest. These guys are annoying on a Liv Morgan level. We're the Supreme Moggers. Yeah, what you got, X Factor? What you got, X Factor? This is annoying. The only thing we're missing is the Evolve Championship. How do you watch it, said PJ. It's on Tubi, buds. They're just talking about how they're unstoppable and all this kind of stuff. Jakari, Ball, and Santi are talking at the moment. We ball harder. We can feel the jealousy back there. Maybe I'm naive because I'm young and awesome, says Max. Okay. What does Mog mean? Oh, we actually cut over there to Robert Stone and to Blake Howard's. We're job creators. They like that. Yeah, I feel like this is too long. And boring. And annoying. Daze Psycho Clown said his dream match is him against Roman, says Carl. Oh, I'd imagine that's true of a lot of people, to be honest. Yeah, I thought it would never end as well. That's what Blake Howard just said. I thought that would never end. Shido Ash, Victor Zanov. I think that was one of the most annoying things I've seen in Evolve history. And I'm not just saying it. There was very little about that I found captivating, interesting, engaging. I mean, you can say that that's what they're going for. But I don't know, man. If I was someone that didn't watch Evolve and I just tuned in and I was confronted with that, I don't know that I'm sticking around. I don't know that I'm staying. That can't be a good thing. So we're going to be seeing, it's led us to a tag match anyway. So we're going to be seeing Shido. I still don't know these names because we haven't seen much of these two. So Shido. Wow. Okay. Victor Zanov. Victor Zanov and Shido Ash. So Shido and Victor against Santi and Jakari. So Santi's in there right now. He's getting thrown. Victor Back up on his feet. Tag being made. In comes Jakari. The Riz is once again the reporter. And Ryan Katz is the ring announcer. Ryan Katz. Is that the first time we're seeing Ryan Katz? This is not someone that we've been seeing recently in Evolve. So it looks like we might have a new ring announcer. Victor was Austria's Judoka of the Year. Okay, over goes Jakari by Shido is how you pronounce it. Shido. Okay, going back over. Tag being made. In comes Victor. Victor is in. Picks him up, slams him down. Shido is in there with Victor. Double teamwork. Victor picks up Shido, slams him down onto Santi. Santi roll into the outsides. And it looks like we're just getting a bit of a regroup as this thing's going to continue when we return. Okay. Right, let's get to a few thoughts. Kairi Sane said she didn't know why WWE let her go because she was in a story with Asuka. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's a situation where she might have been in the middle of a story, but I think there was, unfortunately, like a budget that had to be cut there and then. So even if people were in the middle of the story, the budget still had to be cut by, you know, X percent. So I think it was just the timing. I think that was it. Okay, we are going back. The crazy thing with her release is that she was being used, as you say. I mean, it's a really good point. We've been speaking a lot about Carmelo and Jordan and people like that. But I mean, Kairi was even being used on TV when she got released. I think maybe her wage came into play. Perhaps she wasn't on like a starter level kind of pay. And so they had to figure out if she justified the wage. I don't know. It's an interesting one, though. Over in the corner. Shoulder being driven into the midsection there by Jakari. If you are just joining us, we're at 11:50. We're at 11:50 right now. You just missed a pretty dull promo. And now this is our first match. Shoulder again being driven in there by Jakari. Some good teamwork here, though. They're driving shoulders in, doing a few, and then jump into the outside as the next person comes in. So we are seeing some good work. Big boot and back elbow there by Victor. Victor again with a big boot, another back elbow. He's trying to deal with both members of the Mog Squads. Santi Rivera coming in, big boots. He goes down. That's going to Jakari. Charging over. Collides into Victor. Through the ropes. Goes Santi. Oof. Elbow there by Victor. Shot to the midsection. Upcut there by Victor. Scoops him up. He's got Jakari up. Jakari lands on his feet. Against the ropes. Oh, look at that. That was an amazing leapfrog. Jakari there actually turned around and jumped up so that when he landed, he was facing Victor as Victor came back off the ropes. That was very impressive. Lovely gut wrench suplex. Rolling through again. He's going to go for another gut wrench. He's got it in there. There it is. A second one. Lovely. So we're seeing a sequence of gut wrench suplexes by Jakari. Going for the cover there on Victor. No joy. Shoulder up. Referee coming in, having a words. Carr said, Daze, one thing about AAA for people who don't watch is that AAA have got some awesome stars like Mini Vikingo and others Did we see Mason Rourke post him wearing a mask? No, I didn't. Mason Rourke going to AAA would be very interesting. If that's something that he's teasing. Santi goes down. Trini says BRL Wrestling on Instagram. Speed line survey 1,000 people who don't watch wrestling. And they identified Roman out of 300 wrestlers as the one who looks the most like a superstar. Wow. That's interesting. So they surveyed 1,000 people, showed them 300 odd wrestlers, and Roman got identified the most as being the one that looks like a superstar. That's interesting. Right now. Oh, lovely. 1, 2, 3. It's a win. Victor. Shido and Victor. So we have to listen to the Mog Squad going off, and then they have a match and they get battered. I mean, these two look like serious problems. They got a really good size to them. The Mog Squad got mogged. That was sick. That was sick. Jumping, turning around, jumping into a leapfrog, but doing it as the person is coming behind you. Victor picking up the win. Mog Squad in the entranceway. I'm going to win the title, says Max. Here's Timothy Thatcher. Thatcher's come out. Mog Squad barred from ringside for tonight's championship. Good. Good. Okay, we're backstage. There's Romeo, Noam, Marcus Mathers. Let's go! The peaks are peaking for its goal. Cappuccino's really leaning into the 70s vibe, isn't he? Why are we constantly having a go at its goal? Its goal pushed him to the limit, Cutler. When's the last time you won anything, Cappuccino? Let's go, man. Its goal's the best. Next Wednesday, then, we're going to do its goal against Cappuccino Jones. Its goal. Okay, Skylar Ray? Okay. Skylar Ray's here. Obviously, she was victorious in LFG. From Stamford, Connecticut. Well, she's had a very blessed upbringing, hasn't she? If she's from Stamford, Connecticut. One thing I know about that is, I believe you've got to have some money to be around there. Oh, right, she's taking on Anya Rune. Anya Rune really divides opinion. I like Anya Rune. I think there's a character there. I don't think her in-ring is mind-blowing. I think the character could do something. She tried to shoot me with an imaginary Dragon Ball. Okay, Anya Rune in the ring. Skylar Ray over on the other sides. Okay, I'm not down on this. Skylar Ray, obviously winning LFG, taking on Anya Rune, who is a pretty quirky, crazy cat, but obviously has got that anime kind of character base. Side lock, head. Okay, that was good. Kick out there by Anya, and Skylar gets back up to her feet. Oh. Now we go to stupid commercial break. Right, we're at 1955. 1955. It only goes 44 minutes this week. Evolve. It's a very short episode. Vazzy said, how's Evolve going? I'm watching AEW Grand Slam. I'd say Evolve has started off poor with the promo. First match was okay. Quite dominant performance by those two newcomers. Victor and... I can't remember the name. Victor and Sinto or something? I can't remember. Sindo. I'm still learning about them. We've only seen them in-ring a few times. And now we've gone to a women's match that, well, could be okay. These two are interesting. I think the Anya character, as I said, is interesting. And Skylar kind of was on NXT and has now stopped being used on NXT. She's trying to get out of this lovely cartwheel there into a... Whoa! Thought she was going into a drop kick, but she ended up backflipping. Take down there by Skylar. That's one of the most impressive things I've seen Skylar do, actually. Against the ropes. Over the other sides. Shoulder tackle. Anya goes down. Skylar over the other side. Jumps over the top. Hitting the ropes. Clothesline misses. Anya looking for a hip toss. Shot to the midsection. She's looking to take Anya over, and she does. Anya goes into the corner. Skylar looking to charge in. Anya over the top. Okay. Okay. We do a like Dragon Ball Z type thing, but it's like a shot to the midsection, actually. Against the ropes, colliding into the back. Skylar feeling that. Anya getting back up to her feet, going over to the corner. Okay, we've done this thing where she's like worried about going up top, which I find very strange. Yeah, she's decided to not do it. 1, 2, kick out. I don't know about this story. A wrestler that's scared to go up the ropes. Yeah, Robert Stone says any hesitation in a match is a mistake. Bulldog. 1, 2, kick out. Skylar Ray, former NFL Tennessee Titans cheerleader. She's going up in the corner as Anya rolls to the outsides. Skylar comes down from the corner. Anya on the outside, charging over underneath the bottom rope. Anya gets back in the ring. Skylar gets back in the ring. Anya coming over looking for a backslide. Gets it. 2. No joy. Kick out there by Skylar. Anya trying to work on the arm. Okay, what are we doing here? Okay, that's kind of interesting. She's got the left arm trapped. That's innovative. That's innovative. She's actually got Skylar's left arm trapped. Skylar's been able to free the arm. I like that. Working on the arm, and bang, down she goes. Eat defeat. Oh, she responds with one of her own as well as Anya goes down. Oh, I'm not hating this. There's some interesting bits in here. It's not a banger. It's not like, a mind-blowing match, but it's there's some interesting bits that are in this. Up on the shoulders. She goes down, goes for a kick, misses it. Oh, evades that shot there, Skylar. That was botchy. That was a botchy. She was trying to get it down into a crossface. We definitely did not get that quite right. That's okay. Fans applauding away as right now we've got Anya down. Roll over to No Joy. Back up on the feet, clothesline, No Joy round the back, looking for a shot coming in there by Anya. Ah, net breaker there by 1, 2. Anya going for that cover, but No Joy. Skylar down. They're giving this match time, aren't they? Really giving this match time. She's going to go back over to the corner again. This is a mountain that she's determined to conquer. She's gone to that middle rope. She's going all the way up to the top. She just took way too long as Skylar plants her down. Skylar going to the outside. Anya's been planted. Skylar going up with no hesitation. Skylar. Frog splash. 1, 2, 3. Skylar gets it. That's fine. Botching there. But I'm not sure about the... Oh, I'm nervous about going up the rope, but... Yeah. That was Skylar's Evolve debut. That was her debut. I guess it's different being afraid to do wrestling moves in a wrestling match. Well, it's very different, Chris, yes. Very different. Okay, Skylar Ray then. In the corner, Anya Rune gets attacked. Capri is here. She grabs Anya Rune and she throws her into the ring posts. Anya Rune goes down. I don't even know what she's saying. It just sounds like... Well, if I'm Anya Rune, I'm like, hang on, just slow down. Slow down, what? Hang on, something's happened and I don't know why it's happened. Here's Elijah Holyfield. You flipped a switch in me. I'm going to put my fist through your chin. Ren against Sloan next week. That'll be good. Ren in action against Sloan. Still got our fatal four-way to come. We're at 27-25. His Starboy. Starboy wants Cappuccino Jones. Oh, right. He wants a triple threat. Okay, that's now become a triple threat. Cappuccino Jones versus It's Girl against Starboy. Okay, here we go then. Main event time. Main event time. So Aaron Rourke making his way out. I don't need the entrances. Aaron Rourke's making his way down, and we're going to be getting... Oh, flipping out. Who else is in this? Harlem Lewis has got to be in this because he's champion. We've got to have Max Abrams because, well, he kept banging on about it. And the other person in this thing is abandoning me right now. Who is the fourth person in this match? Daze, maybe they're saying Wrestling Escape Pod needs Fanny to marry Tommy. Well, I don't know what's happening with that situation. I think, didn't Tommy say Fanny had got a partner or something the other episode? I don't know. I don't see it happening, unfortunately. I think they would make a lovely couple, though. Angels. Thank you, Boomers. Yes, Tristan Angels. You're right. And actually, he's coming out now. Tristan Angels was the one that was slipping my mind. Okay, Tristan Angels making his entrance. Street Fighter Ingrid said Blair Davenport is in Stardom. She wrestles there. Who are these people, said Shining Wizard. William, shout out to you. Casey, shout out to you. I always tell people you have the right to say whatever you want to say, but it means you have to understand that other people have the right to respond, says Trini. This October, we got an advert for Money in the Bank. We're at 3022, if anyone's interested. 3022. I don't mind Skylar. She does all right, said Chris from that LFG show that I've never seen before. Daze, I've sent you that Mason Rourke post with him in the mask. Thank you. Okay, tickets on sale now for... I don't think have I been getting ad breaks? I don't think I have. I'm trying to think if I've been getting commercials where I have to watch people talk about mattresses, and I don't think I have. Okay, next week we've got Charlie Dempsey taking on Ulka Sasaki. We've only ever seen Ulka Sasaki once, I believe. He's come over from Noah. An ID showcase next week. It's Goal taking on Cappuccino Jones and Starboy. Why can I not get It's Goal merch? I've not looked on Pro Wrestling Tees, which guess what I'm doing right now. Okay, Tristan is in the ring. It's Goal. Max Abrams coming out. Main man energy. He likes to be Max winning, but can he be a champion? Yeah, I don't think there is anything for It's Goal on Pro Wrestling Tees. It's Goal. Nope. I never go on Pro Wrestling Tees. It's kind of interesting to see what are the best sellers at the moment. Where do you oh, top sellers. What are the monthly top sellers? Mick Foley, little figures. Some other little figures. Kenny Omega shirt, Road Warrior shirt, an Umaga shirt. Bullet Club shirts are still selling. Lots of Mick Foley, Kenny Omega stuff. Okay. Here's Harlem Lewis. William said, I'm going to ask if Tommy would support balding people by collecting our community's pubic hair donations and donating them to make wigs for musicians. Why would it have to be wigs for musicians? Wouldn't it be nice if we collected pubic hair from the community to make wigs for the community, for anyone that's bald within our community? I don't know why it would have to go to musicians. I mean, that strikes me as weird. Okay, here we go. We've got this ring announcer. Ryan Katz. He's a retired wrestler, promoter, and manager that's signed to WWE as a producer. He's 49. I don't mind him as a host, but I wouldn't be putting him in this. I mean, he's meant to be an official, so why have we got this tracksuit? I don't mind him, but I'm not buying the look. I'm not even sure I'm buying him as an announcer, actually. I don't know, what do you think? Let's ask the question. Do you like the new ring announcer? What do you think? Okay, Harley Riggins is over there. So he's competed on the independent scene from 99 to 2013. And from 2015, he's actually been working behind the scenes at the Performance Center. He's a producer. He produces for the NXT brand as well. So it's one of the NXT producers. So he's been, you know, someone that's been around WWE for a long time now, about 10 years, but not someone that we ever see on camera. For some reason, somehow, he is now the announcer in Evolve. Okay, we are underway with our main event match. We're at 36:41, so we've got about 8 minutes to this main event match. Harlem Lewis getting back into the ring, charging over. We got a clothesline. Coming over, grabbing Tristan. No Joy. Right now, duck under. Wow. That was a nice little spot. He had Tristan, I think, here, and then he managed to grab Max, and he picked up Max, chucked him onto Tristan. Tristan's managed to get round the back there of Harlem. Aaron's well out of this thing at the moment. Clothesline over the top to the outsides. Big Time said Ariana Grace and Stax have broken up. Hence why they're not next to each other in Birthright or being all lovely. Oh, have they really? They've broken up? Wow. That was quite serious as well, wasn't it? Weren't they, like, engaged? Wow. Well, I mean, these things happen. Life happens, doesn't it? That's a shame. I feel sorry for them. That's going to be hard, innit? I mean, this is why it's hard. Yeah, this is why it's going to be really difficult to get with someone that you, like, work with, you know? Where's that doing the rounds? Is that, like, confirmed news? I've got one of those flipping adverts now. Daze, the ring announcer sounds more suits, like he more suits an MMA or boxing, said Big Time. Daze, I'm surprised there's no Mini Vikingo merch on WWE Shop. Yeah, there's quite a bit missing, actually, for, like, various people. I mean, we still haven't got a flipping Fatal Influence shirt, which I don't understand. I mean, the only one they've got is of the old lineup. Holyfield's hairline ain't cut straight, said Rob. Maybe the barber had a crooked chair. Oh, God, I hope so. I hope that's the reason. That'd be brilliant. Okay, I've just got another advert, but at least now it's an advert for something WWE related. They're promoting, obviously, being in MSG next year. So I'm at 38, 30, 38, 33. That's where I am right now. WrestleMania watch party. Okay, we're going back to the action, and we got Max Abrams in there with Aaron Rourke. The others on the outsides. Dates, who do we think Roman will face in Mexico? I think Penta or a AAA talent. Yeah. I mean, Penta, I think, has got to be in there. The rumors are El Grande at the moment. But Brian Alvarez has said that is not set in stone. So there's a few I'd be down for seeing. I think it's quite an exciting announcement. Kick coming in there by Max. Max going over in the corner. Aaron's going to look to charge over. Bang. Over the other side in the corner. Again. Kick coming in there by Tristan. Going up top. Gets caught. Tristan grabbing Max, but Harlem's going to go for a German. That was quite good. It was a multi-person spot like you see in these matches, but it felt a little bit more believable than some of the ones that we tend to see. So he goes to the outside. Clothesline there by Aaron. Harley Riggins watching on. This week's SmackDown moved 1.5 tickets after a buy one, get one free. And they're at 8.2. Back in February, they had 13,000, so the business is cooling. The chickens were always going to come home to roost, weren't they? I mean, I suppose the hope is that any enthusiasm or noise that was created by SummerSlam weekend is going to, like, you know, Kevin being back, Becky being back, Stephanie being back, that you know, grabs attention. So, but yeah, I mean, I feel like fans complained and moaned, myself included, throughout 2025 and throughout like a lot of 2026. It's going to have an effect, isn't it? It's going to. It has to. I mean, we've had people in our community saying that they're just going to take a step away because I'm just not feeling it anymore. It's just, this isn't what I'm looking for type stuff. So, yeah. Definitely. I think the fact that SummerSlam only did like less than 40,000 ticket sales shows that the business had cooled. But it's about trying to get it going again, you know? And I think SummerSlam was great. I think Raw was really, really enjoyable. All you can do is put on good shows in it. That's the only thing you can do. Bang. Another multi-person spot there as all these guys get planted. We are really running out of time here, you know. Time is getting away from us. We're at 41:45. Right now we got Harlem trying to get back up to his feet. Is over in the corner. He's going to look to charge in, but Abrams collides into Harlem. That's going to leave Aaron and Max. Oof. Max goes down hard. Aaron in the corner. Max middle of the ring. Aaron is perched. Oh, that was lovely. That was a really good camera angle for that. Here we go. Here's Harlem. Picks him up. Picks up Max. Drives him down. 1, 2. Harlem retains. Harlem retains. Shame, actually, because I think that match needed more time. Harlem retains as Aaron was trying to come in and make the save, but no joy. Let's score that main event. Yeah, you're not blown away by that ring announcer. Lots of multi-person spots, which some of them work, some of them I wasn't crazy about. That was good. And I like the camera angle for that. Jackhammer picks up the win. Harlem Lewis on the outside. Kind of goes round to Harley Riggins. What, you've been here 4 years, you finally got a championship. Few words being exchanged there between Harlem and Harley. And there we go. That was Evolve. I think there's bits in there. I mean, there's bits from that women's match that I enjoyed. There's bits from the main event that I enjoyed. I don't think that main event had quite enough time for me. I would like to see that have a bit longer. But yeah. Okay. There was some stuff in there. Get your scores in. I asked about the new ring announcer. 63% of you weren't really feeling the new ring announcer. 37% of you were. Obviously not the biggest sample size. There's not loads of people that join us on a Wednesday. Obviously it'd be lovely to see more people joining us on a Wednesday. But yeah, I mean, when you go this far down the WWE rabbit hole, it's probably asking a bit too much. But yeah, I don't know. I've got my reservations there. I'm not feeling the look, but I think he's trying to bring something different, a different vibe. But yeah, I must admit I'd be with the 63% right now. But yeah, get your thoughts in for that main event match. What did you think? Fatal 4-way, obviously a championship on the line. What did you think about that? We'll get to a few thoughts, and then we'll get that match score, and then we'll all go our separate ways. So William said, the head of my dong weighs about 230 pounds. I'm not sure how many stones that is. My finisher is the Mortal Kombat. It's just me helicoptering when I circle around my enemies. And I think a lot of you out there are probably picturing that now. Someone down on the mat. William, I'm guessing naked, gyrating around, doing some helicoptering, as he likes to word it, with a very heavy, I mean, that is incredibly heavy, William. 230 pounds. I mean, 205 live was for wrestlers that were 205 or below. So the fact that the head of your dong would not even be eligible for the Cruiserweight Championship on its own is incredible. So, William, thank you. I think you've given us a lot to think about there. Carr said, do we think Lillian as a ring announcer for Triple Mania? Do I think we get Lillian? I don't know who the ring announcer is in AAA, actually, but I think it should be that whoever that person is. Whoever the person is in AAA, Triple Mania is their big night of the year, isn't it? I wouldn't really want to take that away from them. I think, like, you know, if you work week in, week out doing that hard graft and, go, you know, doing the ring announcing for all the various shows, and then you get to the big show and then you get replaced, that's moody, innit? That's moody. I think it should be whoever does it week in, week out. This is their Super Bowl. Big Time said, what do we think about Mason? Because his promo delivery and his look, I don't think this is what a main event main roster is looking for. He looks more fitted for maybe New Japan. I think his looks fine. I might do something with his hair. That's the only thing that I'm not crazy about. I think I'd shave his hair or do something with his hair. Go mohawk or something. His hair just looks a bit too boy bandish for me. But the size of him, I think, is brilliant because it's Bronson Reed, it's Bam Bam Bigelow, it's Vader. You know, it's that kind of vibe. I think it's the hair that's my problem. I'm not crazy about him in casual clothes, to be honest. I mean, we didn't see too many times where Vader was just chatting around, walking around in jeans, you know? So I'm not crazy about him just being in casual attire. I think that's something that needs a bit of work. So yeah, presentation-wise, I think there could be some leveling up, but it wouldn't be he has to lose weight. No way. I like wrestling having different shapes, sizes, big, small, little, large. I think that, you know, wrestling would be so boring if everyone was just the same size, same height, jacked, and that's it. No way. No way. I push back hard on that argument. Hard. It shouldn't. It never has, and it never should. It should be that all different shapes and sizes can come in. Big, small, little, large. Really, at the end of the day, that is important, but it's not the be-all and end-all because it's all about your connection with the fans. It's all about your connection with the fans. You know, Rey Mysterio is tiny. Really, you could look at Rey and say, no, he's not going to make it. But he did because he was phenomenal in the ring and he had a connection with the fans. So, you know, look at Yokozuna, one of the biggest guys we've ever seen, but one of the most respected as well. And he comes in at like 500 odd pounds. Look at Bam Bam, look at Vader. So I think if there is something about his look, for me, it's his hair, and I'm not a fan of him wearing his casual attire. Promo-wise, yeah, there's probably some work to be done there. He's obviously got a bit of an accent coming from the UK. So bit of work to be done there. I don't know if he wouldn't benefit from having a bit of a manager, but I suppose when you're in NXT, it doesn't really make much sense to put a manager with someone and have the manager talk because, well, it just makes sense to try and get the wrestler over with their own abilities. I mean, if you give up with them in developmental, they ain't going to stand a chance, are they, of ever being able to deliver a promo? So you might as well keep working with him on his promos, but I wouldn't have that as a factor for him to not go to the main roster because you can always put a manager with him on the main roster. Really, it's what he does in the ring that's going to be the most important. NXT needs to work out the presentation. Promos, keep working with him. If we get somewhere, brilliant. And if we don't, then you put a manager with him. Word Life Scene fan said, Daze, rumour has it that Tara Zepp appeared off the rails with Jasmine St. Clair, revealed that she would love to buy CM Punk's soiled trunks after she learnt about what might have happened at SummerSlam. Cool. Carr said WWE should push Axiom and Nathan Frazier, and maybe we see Axiom in a tournament because he is a fantastic wrestler with an awesome super kick and he has got some wonderful masks. The only problem with Axiom is he's not Mexican, he's Spanish. And he is not someone that features in AAA. So you're not really promoting Mexico and you're not really promoting AAA if you put Axiom in. I agree that he's an option because he wrestles in that sort of lucha style. So you are promoting Lucha Libre. But I don't know. I think there's better options. I think he can be in the tournament, but I'm not sure he should win it. I think there are better options that represent Mexico and represent AAA better than what he would. But yeah, he could be in the tournament. I mean, he definitely would fit. Godzilla is a Japanese movie character. That's breaking news. Shining Wizard said, I don't think the homeless look works on overweight people. They should be realistically be rail thin. I don't know that he was going for a homeless look. Whether he came across like he was homeless, that's obviously for everyone to decide on an individual basis. But I'm not sure he was going for a homeless vibe. I just don't think that his casual attire is the kind of thing we should be showing. Obviously, the question then is, well, what should he look like? Well, I don't know. Maybe he just wears his ring gear with like a jacket over the top or something like that. I don't know. It's difficult because he wasn't wrestling. But I don't know that he didn't have a match or wasn't training, do I? I don't know that he didn't have a dark match or he wasn't wrestling earlier in the day or just coming from the performance center where he's been training. So, I don't know. What I do know is that what I saw from his clothes was not what I'm looking for his presentation. Trying to find the alternative might be a little bit tricky, but, well, I don't know. Blooming hell, put someone down in front of AI for a couple of hours and ask AI to show you, 100 different outfits that, would make Mason Rourke look good, like, away from the ring. And just, do that and see if you get inspired by something. So I think it's an easy solution. I think we've got tools in the world that can help us find something. But what we saw the other day, I didn't think was it. Do we think that Stephanie against Becky could be at Saturday night's main event, said Daryl? Could be, yeah. I mean, if you're going to do a match of that magnitude, Saturday night or Sunday night's main event, as I think the next one is definitely a place you could do it. But, I mean, you could also make the argument that we do Becky Stephanie on Raw because Raw needs big matches and that could be a main event. And then we actually end up doing the match at Money in the Bank, the winner against whoever at Money in the Bank. Or if we're not going to wait that long because it is a distance away, maybe we do the match at Sunday night's main event, the winner against Liv. Because we just don't have a pay-per-view. There isn't a pay-per-view at the end of this month. There isn't one seemingly next month. We just don't have a PLE. So I think we've got to do some of those bigger matches on Raw and SmackDown. And I think that Sunday night's main event is going to have a really good card because we just do not have a Crown Jewel or a WrestlePalooza, and no one seems to know what the flip is happening in that regard. So, yeah, I mean, I think they could face and all that, but of course, but when? Hard to say. We're about to enter a very strange period now when it comes to the shows. When do we think we find out who's in the tournament? They might make an announcement on Saturday. Saturday would make the most sense to me because Saturday is, the next show. Obviously, this is big news. You can easily, I know it's a recorded show, but you can always drop in a backstage segment that Ray films now, just announcing that, this is happening. I mean, they've got to mention it Saturday, even though Saturday's in the can already. Surely they can't not mention it on Saturday that Roman is going to be on Raw defending the belt and that there's an opportunity for AAA talent and everything. So who knows? Perhaps they've already recorded that segment. I mean, they will have known that they wanted to do this ages ago. So maybe when they recorded the third week of, the special, perhaps they already have had Ray talk about it. And perhaps they've already got the graphic for the bracket worked out. So I think Saturday stands a chance, but if not, then I think, didn't they say that the first qualifier would start on Raw on Monday? So I think it'll have to be very, very soon. Big Time said, if they are holding back on a date for Saudi, are they just waiting to see if AEW makes a move? I don't think AEW NXT watch-longs in New York mean they know New York or LA is AEW's target. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things that have got me wondering about the WrestleMania date, because I think AEW is one of them. Because the longer WWE delay the date, as you said, or the date, then, it's making it harder for AEW to book a show, isn't it? But I mean, at some point, WWE have got to announce the date. They've got to go for it. So that could be a factor. But the other thing as well is what's going on in the Middle East right now. I mean, it's just so difficult at the moment because the word coming out, and don't forget, TKO, Dana, Triple H, Ari Emanuel. They've all got great connections to the White House. I mean, Linda, am I right in saying she's still part of the actual administration? She's still like, you know, education secretary or whatever it is, right? So, I mean, the connections for Triple H, WWE with the White House, Donald Trump, of course, who's in the WWE Hall of Fame, and might not be now, but certainly was once a fan of WWE and the product. They might just be ahead of the curve with information and knowledge about where things are going and what's happening and what's happening and safe. And the latest we're hearing is that the Middle East situation is at a real tense point now, because it seems like Donald Trump's at the point where he's like, listen, I'm tired of waiting now. Like, we're either going to come up with an agreement or we're going back to war and bombing, and it's all kicking off. And I've told you, I'll take out your bridges, I'll take out your power plants. I just don't know, man. I mean, we're at a point now where it's quite sensitive. Are they waiting to see which way this goes? Is, you know, the fact that the Middle East is in such turmoil that, you know, WWE just waiting for that? I think at this point, it's probably more to do with AEW. But I'm not going to completely overlook the fact that it's Saudi Arabia that's involved, and there's a hell of a lot of stuff going on over in Saudi Arabia. So it could be that they're working to try and find the best window, to try and see what's happening in the Middle East. I mean, the other thing as well is financially, this is a big blow to the Saudis. And I'm not saying that they're going to, you know, abandon the deal, but what happens if we're about to go into a war? What happens if the Strait of Hormuz stays closed? What if the Saudis are not generating the money that they've been generating because of the war? What does that mean to their fund? And what does that mean for their eagerness to spend money on something which is not essential? You know, WrestleMania for them is not essential. It would be good, you know, to get and to promote that, but I mean, just think of the negativity that's happening at the moment. I mean, you could host WrestleMania, but are you going to convince many people to come to Saudi Arabia right now? So, I mean, we can't ignore all of that's happening, as well as the AEW situation. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm very, very eager to find out about when this is going to be, because now that our dog passed away, obviously, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, my dad has always said that he wants to go on holiday, like big family holiday. And we've worked out the other day, you know, that it's been 20 years since we all went on holiday, like me, my brother, my dad, my mom, that we all went on holiday together. It's been 20 years. And my dad has said, like, you know, he's getting on in age. And he's said that the one thing he wants to do is go away on holiday altogether. So, you know, that would be a couple of weeks next year, probably. But I've said I can't go until I know when WrestleMania is. I can't commit to anything, because sod's law will be that it'll get booked and then it'll turn out that's WrestleMania weekend. 'Cause he wants to go around that sort of time. He wants to go like before the kids break up. But, you know, he still wants to pick up a bit of the summer. So he's looking sort of like April, May. And I was like, well, why don't you just book May? Because it won't be May. But then I suppose the problem I've got is then you got Backlash, haven't you? And I don't know when Backlash is going to be. I really don't want to be going when there's a pay-per-view. So it's actually really interesting for me as well to find out when this thing's going to be, because I know my dad's the one thing he wants in this world is like, you know, a proper family holiday where we all go together and we all have a great time, make some memories, get some pictures, and because who knows what the future's going to hold. I mean, my dad's, as we said, you know, getting on now. We could never ever do that when we had the dog, because someone always had to watch the dog, and we would never have put her in kennels, never. So there was always someone that had to stay. It was like when I went to Egypt the other year with my folks, my brother stayed and watched the dog. And when I went to Florida a few years ago, my brother stayed and watched the dog. And they've been away on holiday at times where I've been here to watch the dog, and they've all been away, and I've been here on my own to watch the dog. So there's been a lot of watching the dog, but we don't have to do that now. So now, for the first time, we can actually all go away together. So yeah, I'm waiting for that. I need to know, because my dad keeps asking me, like, have you heard when WrestleMania is? Have you heard when WrestleMania is? And I'm like, why do you have to go at the end of April or May? I mean, if it comes out as early April, then I think we'll be going away end of April. If it comes out end of April, then I think we probably will go in May. And then my problem will be that I'll probably need to find out when Backlash is as well, which I don't think that date's been announced. But to be honest, I'm not even focused on that. I'm still trying to find out when WrestleMania is. So, yeah, I'd like to know as well. Big Time said, I think the idea of AEW potentially capitalizing on WWE's absence and doing big business purely because WWE has left the territory bothers WWE. Well, it should bother them. I mean, they're leaving the back door open. It should bother them because, you know, they really dominate the American market. WWE are now trying to expand globally, but by doing that, they're leaving the back door open. They're leaving opportunities in America. So it should bother them. So, yeah, I don't think they've quite figured out what they're going to do. What can you do? I think it would be, I don't know. I mean, I've got mixed feelings on it, because if you run a show the same weekend as WrestleMania, surely people are tuning into WrestleMania. You're going to be able to attract your fans that are going to go to watch your show, AEW show. But anyone that's got interests in both, WrestleMania's WrestleMania. I'm not sure AEW gets the better of that. I mean, right now they're doing a show in Wembley where it looks like they're unopposed and going to click to about, I don't know, 50,000 is what Aaron was saying to me just at Wembley, which is, you know, fine, because that's better than SummerSlam. But could you imagine if that show was going on the same weekend as WrestleMania? Would they still do 50,000, or would some of those people want to stay at home to watch WrestleMania? I don't think most people would jump on a plane and go to Saudi, but would they want to watch Mania instead? I don't know. I mean, this is a decision for Tony Khan, isn't it? I think it makes sense to run, say, the weekend before, because if you run the weekend before, you're not up against anything. You can get the people coming to your show, and then the next weekend they can sit and watch WrestleMania. You've got your show, you've got the result, you've got their money, and, you know, you've not had to compete against WrestleMania in order to achieve it. So, I don't know, man. I wonder if WWE are thinking about having to sort of put some on the weekend before, which they tend to do with NXT, don't they? I mean, do you go big with Stand and Deliver to scare AEW away? Because if they run a show the same weekend as WrestleMania, I think that's definitely got its challenges for AEW. Definitely. And if they run the week before, that would make more sense. But do you just absolutely stack NXT? Just really, like, it's very main roster heavy, sort of bonkers show, you know? I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. I can't even quite work out how the chess pieces are going to be played. I bet there's all kinds of conversations going on. Money Talk, balls walk, said King Notorious. Daze, would Wembley have done 80 if they hadn't starved the European market? If AEW is doing 50, 70, you just never know. You don't want to make AEW look legit. All in Texas, flooded that weekend. Would Wembley have done 80 if WWE hadn't starved the European market? Well, probably. I mean, you know, WWE come over on a regular basis. And so, yeah, maybe. I mean, honestly, though, I think AEW's popularity is also its big factor. I mean, even unopposed, and even with WWE not doing like big shows over here on a regular basis, I would still question whether they could get to that 80 mark. So I just don't know. I don't know how big the AEW fan base is. It took a big knock when Punk left, and I've heard that they're responding and coming back, but would it do 80? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I mean, a lot of that is going to come down to the AEW fan base itself and where AEW is. AEW is obviously, you know, battling WWE, but they've got to ask themselves a question about how popular they are even without WWE in the mix. So I don't know if it would. I think, of course, it would have done better. That's undeniable that it would have done better. But would it have done 80? There's really no way of knowing. What do you think they've got planned for Worlds Collide? I think there'll be like some decent names on it, but I think by and large it's going to be NXT and, you know, AAA going up against each other. I don't think there'll be much in the way of build. Normally there isn't for those type of Worlds Collide matches. Normally it's just like video package, someone issues a challenge and, you know, matches made type thing. We tend to do a little bit more when it comes to the main event. But I think by and large, it's probably not going to have the biggest of builds. But I think they're going up against, aren't they, AEW? So I think what you might see is a healthy amount of main roster people getting involved. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, that one, because they've got some pretty stiff competition. But I think we need to get through this period first to kind of know where everything lies. Because obviously we've still got another week of a special for this weekend. And then as... I don't know which one's first. I don't know what comes next. Worlds Collide next, isn't it? I think it's Worlds Collide... Is it Worlds Collide next? This Worlds Collide next. And then Triple Mania at the start of September. So, yeah, lots of moving parts with, I think, some main roster involvement. We talk about WWE booking some cities same weekend as AEW. What if a big swing if Tony made that move because he's been respectful and mindful of his own business? I don't know what you mean. You mean about him booking against... I think it's just out opportunity, innit? That's how I would look at it. He can see that a big show that normally takes place in America in April is now not taking place. Well, if WWE aren't going to do it, he can do it. I don't think it's any deeper than that. I don't think it's any deeper than that. I think it's just, there's an opportunity. Everyone can see it. There's a big opportunity WWE have left because for the first time ever, WrestleMania is taking place outside of North America. So every year since 1985, there's been a stadium show in April that is now not there. And there's a whole economy built around it, isn't there, with all those indie shows that pop up and run in the week before. So if we're all thinking it, he's definitely thinking it. You know, that gap's there, and do I fill that gap? I don't think it's even really about a change in strategy or I'm going to run against WWE or anything like that. I think it's just as simple as there's normally a big wrestling show there. There isn't now. I can fill that gap. That's it. That's as deep as it goes. It's not I'm going to stick it to them or anything like that. I think it is just literally that. And I think it should be that because I think then he's obviously going to bring out the worst in WWE. They're obviously not going to be happy about that. They're going to really try and counter it. And it's, you know, but again, just focus on yourself. That's the best thing you can do. Focus on yourself. If you run that show, you're doing it because there's normally a show there that isn't. You're not doing it to stick it to WWE. You're not doing it to get one over on them or anything. You're doing it because there's an opportunity. And whatever they do to try and counter you, you have to know they're going to do everything and anything. They're going to do anything they can to disrupt. So you go into it knowing that, but the opportunity is still there. The opportunity is still the opportunity. So, yeah, I think it is interesting that no one's showing their hand at the moment. Eventually, someone's going to have to. Otherwise, my dad is going to be livid. it's Heatwave, then it is Triple Mania, then right, Triple Mania first, is it? And then it's World Collide after. Well, that confuses things even more then, doesn't it? Because God only knows where we'll be once we've got through all of that by the time we get to Worlds Collide. So that's, way too off in the distance to try and get your head around. I think there's a conversation to be had about dream matches you'd like to see, but I think it's going to be really hard to talk about dream matches we're going to see when there's a hell of a lot of wrestling that needs to be done before we get there. King Notorious said, I fear your dads. Well, you shouldn't, buds. You shouldn't. He's getting on in age now, so he's no harm to anyone. But I know that he is patiently awaiting when WrestleMania is going to be, and not because he's a fan, but because he wants to go on holiday. Right, main event you lot said was good 93. That's what you scored the main event. So with that being said, we are done. I've not had anything to eat yet, so I'm going to go and grab some food. I'm ready. I've got my fork ready. I'm sat here with my fork ready to go, ready to have some food. So I'm going to go and do that. I'm then going to have a look at my jobs list and start working through some jobs. I know I need to update this, get Daz in there, for example. I think it's still promoting SummerSlam, so I need to change that and get that sorted. I want to have a think about bringing the community video back this weekend. I need to do the quiz for the members on Friday. I need to set up the watch along stream for tomorrow. So these are the things that I'm going to run off and start doing. I should be able to get all that ticked off, start working down the jobs list that I've got. But thanks for joining us. Really do appreciate it. And yeah, we are back again tomorrow on the members side. But, publicly, the Wrestling Escape Pod, as far as I know. But I would imagine for many of you, I'll probably see you again on Friday when we're going to be back for SmackDown. And yes, Saturday, we are back as well. And we will be doing AAA. We are doing AAA this weekend. So we're going to wrap up that AAA 3-week special. That's another thing I need to do. I need to go back and watch last week's episode. I might do that tonight as well. Catch up with last week's AAA. Need to do that before Saturday. So, yes. Boom. Lovely. Appreciate you joining us. Enjoy your evenings, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.